Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us again for another coffee break. My name is Lauren, and joining me for our second week are Frankie and Natalie out of the New York office. As we mentioned last week, over the next several weeks, Kivu will be hosting a series of video blogs to help bring awareness to everyday computer users and what they can do to better protect themselves from potentially malicious threats. This week, we'll be discussing VPNs, why they're so important, and especially during a time when so many of us are now working from home. So Frankie and Natalie, are you able to explain to everyone joining us today what a VPN stands for, what it is, and why we need it?
Yeah, so a virtual private network gives you online privacy. So you can think of it like an encrypted tunnel between your devices and a remote server. Everything that you do while being connected stays inside that tunnel.
Yeah, that's a great reference, Natalie. I really like the tunnel reference. Essentially, it means that all of your information is secure and it can't be seen by cyber criminals, governments, and fun fact, even your internet service provider.
So what is something that a VPN may be used for our everyday users?
One of the main uses of a VPN is to hide your identity. So when you're connected to the internet, you don't show up as you, instead you show up as the network. For example, if you use a VPN to access a fraudulent website, they wouldn't be able to trace it back to you. It would be traced back to the network you gained access through.
That was a great overview and really insightful information. And now that we have a better understanding of what a VPN is used for, can you both provide some more information on or some suggestions for how everyday users can really utilize them to protect their identity?
Yeah, definitely. So a VPN redirects your internet traffic. It disguises where your computer, phone, or other devices when it makes contact with websites. And it also encrypts your information you send across the internet, making it unreadable to anyone who intercepts your traffic.
So speaking of Wi-Fi, is it something like safe for anyone to do or connect to in terms of a public Wi-Fi? So for instance, if I'm traveling at an airport and I need to hop on my computer real quick, is it okay for me just to connect to any Wi-Fi network that pops up?
Well, when connecting to public Wi-Fi, unfortunately, your data can be accessed easily by cyber criminals. So using a VPN prevents anyone else on the network from snooping on what you're doing on the internet.
Exactly, Natalie. Understanding the importance of a VPN and the times that you could and should be using one is crucial. So let's say you're in a coffee shop, just ordered your large cup of coffee. Actually, no, you're at home drinking that large cup of coffee where you should be for right now. But let's say in the near future, you're at Starbucks sipping happily. You're about to log on to your laptop, do some work, email some people back, the usual. Stop before you do anything. Make sure that you connect to your trusted VPN so that all of your personal data and all the work that you're going to do, maybe, is secure.
Yeah, that's a great example, Frankie. But one thing to keep in mind when connecting to public Wi-Fi is that it's hard to tell whether the Wi-Fi is what it appears to be. So just because it's named coffee shop Wi-Fi doesn't really mean it's owned by that coffee shop. So it's really important for users to ensure that they are verifying the network when they are connecting to before they actually hit that connect button. For instance, whenever I go to Starbucks ordering my large cup of coffee, I quickly check with the barista to find out what the Wi-Fi name is at the same time as ordering my coffee.
So now that we've talked about some reasons why someone on a personal level may want to use a VPN, what about on a company level? Why would someone at an organization want to maybe implement VPN usage across the board at their organization?
Yeah, why a company may want to use a VPN is because they want to keep what they access confidential. So things like customer or employee information, client communications, and financial reports are all examples of data a business would want to protect from hackers.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, using a VPN gives any business online privacy when an employee is, let's say, in the coffee shop, emailing or working remotely, like most of us are right now. So the business doesn't have to worry about any attackers snooping on their data.
So Natalie and Frankie, are you able to provide any examples from past experiences in which VPNs played a role either initially or maybe later on down the road after Kivu got involved?
Yeah, so In past Office 365 or business email compromise cases, clients at times didn't realize the importance of a VPN and would basically just connect to public Wi-Fi, not thinking twice about how vulnerable their data was. After working with them and finding appropriate solutions, they were better prepared to implement and understand what threat actors can access if not properly protected.
Well, Frankie and Natalie, thank you both for your time this afternoon. This information was extremely helpful. And thank you to everyone who tuned in and listened to the blog. And if you haven't checked out last week's video on password and phishing emails, go take a look on Kivu's LinkedIn page. Please feel free to reach out to the Kivu team if you have any questions or security concerns. But with that, see you all next week.